Hello everyone, welcome to Raj Malhotra's IAS Study Group YouTube channel. My name is Nimardeep Kaur and let's get started with our today's topic. Now in today's topic we are going to study about the evolution of India's maritime vision and that too specifically in the past decade, and we will study about transition of India's maritime policy from Sagar vision to Mahasagar vision. Now to understand that, let's first begin with understanding that why this Indian Ocean region is important for India. Now to begin with, first of all, the importance of this region can be understood with respect to the geographical location of India itself in this region. That is, if we see this location through a map, we can simply say that this central location of India in this entire region in itself becomes a strategically important angle for India with respect to its importance in this region. Secondly, when we talk about India's trade by volume, then around 90% of India's trade by volume move through these sea routes in this region, and also there are major sea lines of communication that pass through this region. And we also talk about maritime choke points in this region. That is, when we refer to the maritime choke points, be it Strait of Hormuz, Bab el-Mandeb, Mozambique Channel and Strait of Malacca in this region, and at any given point of time, if there exists any instability at any of these choke points, then that becomes a matter of concern for the world's trade. That is, the trade could get disrupted, and that reason becomes again one of the significance for India in this region in the context of Indian Ocean region. Now, when we talk about all these factors, that means maritime security in this domain in itself becomes significant for India, and hence it becomes important for trade of India, energy security and also the strategic influence of India in this region, that is Indian Ocean region. Now, after understanding the importance of this region for India and also after having a look at the maritime choke points lying in this region, let's understand that how we talk about India's maritime outlook in today's times. That is, we can simply say that India's maritime outlook has got evolved from coastal security to regional maritime leadership, that is focusing on the region itself, that is Indian Ocean region, and nowadays Indo-Pacific strategic role, that is expanding role of India towards this wider geography. Now, when we are using this term Indo-Pacific, we must keep in mind that we are referring to regions of Indian Ocean and Western and Central Pacific Ocean. This thing we must keep in mind while using this terminology, that is Indo-Pacific region. Now let's first understand that what exactly Sagar vision is. Sagar vision, that is security and growth for all in the region. Now this vision of India was announced by our Prime Minister in the year 2015, and what have been the core principles of this vision? That is ensuring collective security in Indian Ocean, maritime cooperation with littoral states, that is the states having their coastline bordering this region of Indian Ocean, then capacity building and humanitarian assistance, and finally sustainable use of marine resources. That is when we use the term blue economy, that is ensuring sustainable use of all the resources present in the maritime domain. Now, when we talk about key pillars of Sagar vision, then we talk about maritime security cooperation, humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, capacity building for coastal states, economic cooperation and blue economy that we just talked about, strengthening regional institutions, that is the regional institutions that are lying or that are meant for this specific region, strengthening their frameworks. And if we want to refer to the examples, then we can refer to coastal radar networks lying in this region, that is be it the countries of Maldives, Sri Lanka and such countries in the Indian Ocean region where India has developed coastal radar networks. Then we can talk about naval cooperation. That is, for example, when India conducts maritime exercises with the countries lying in this region, be it the countries of Maldives, be it the countries of Africa, under Africa-India key maritime engagement framework, or with the countries of Indonesia and such countries in this region. Then finally, disaster relief missions. That is, these have been the key pillars of Sagar vision, and for that we have co-linked it with certain examples. From there we can say that India in this region acts as a first responder, and along with that India acts as a net security provider in this region. Now, when we are saying that India in this region is acting as a net security provider, what do we mean by that is that here India has played an active role through anti-piracy operations, that is, for example, in the regions of Gulf of Aden, naval patrols, disaster relief missions, and also maritime surveillance cooperation. And all these things are aimed at ensuring security in this region. Now, again, few examples we can co-link is providing assistance to countries like Sri Lanka and Maldives, then carrying out initiatives like Vaccine Maitri, under which India supplied COVID-19 vaccines to the countries in the region. Then disaster relief operations. Here we can quote one of the latest example of Operation Brahma that was initiated by Indian government in response to 2025 Myanmar earthquake. And finally, naval exercises with regional partners, that examples we just discussed about. That is, in this region India is playing a significant role through different initiatives, and we can co-link these initiatives with visions of India, that is Sagar vision, and in today's times when we have evolved into Mahasagar vision. Now, along with this thing, when we had talked about this region and Sagar vision, we also talk about emerging challenges in Indian Ocean. And when we talk about challenges in this region, one of the major challenges, presence of China in this region. Now, when we talk about this maritime environment in the region of Indian Ocean region, then why the complexity has increased? Due to growing Chinese naval presence and strategic infrastructure projects of China being carried out in this region under its Belt and Road Initiative, and competition for maritime influence in this region. Now, when we talk about this China factor here as an emerging challenge in Indian Ocean region, we can refer to China's string of pearls strategy. That is, when China through presence at different ports is trying to encircle India in this region of Indian Ocean. For example, here we can refer to Gwadar port of Pakistan, or presence of China in Maldives under its BRI initiatives, Hambantota port of Sri Lanka, Quoc Phu port of Myanmar, and many such examples. Even in the region of Djibouti, the overseas military base of China. That is, through this presence, China under its string of pearls strategy has tried to encircle India. And how India has responded? India has responded through its counter encirclement strategy, that is through India's necklace of diamonds strategy. That is, India also ensures its presence in this region to counterbalance the presence of China. For example, through Chabahar port of Iran, through Duqm of Oman, Assumption of Seychelles, Sabang of Indonesia, and many such examples in this region. So here we will keep in mind that if China is carrying out its string of pearls strategy to encircle India, what India is doing to counterbalance presence of China is India is carrying out its necklace of diamonds strategy. Now, when we are talking about this transition of vision of India from Sagar vision to Mahasagar vision, then we need to look at the key drivers of this expansion or of this evolution of India's vision. Now, first driver becomes the increasing role of countries like Japan, Australia and USA in this region, and also of groupings like Association of Southeast Asian nations. That is, growing influence in this region of all these countries or of these regional groupings ultimately becomes one of the driver for this expansion of India's vision towards a wider geography. Then growing Chinese maritime presence that we just looked at, and then need for stronger maritime infrastructure and economic integration in this region. Then emergence of new maritime domains, that is the maritime domains that we talk about in today's times, including blue economy, again that is ensuring sustainable use of marine resources, then maritime technology, and finally digital and energy connectivity in this region. So here all these factors are acting as drivers for our expansion of our vision from Sagar vision to Mahasagar vision. Now let's talk about Mahasagar vision, that is mutual and holistic advancement for security and growth across regions. That is, here we are talking about expansion of our vision from specifically Indian Ocean towards wider regions, and also our involvement or cooperation or integration in these regions with an expanded horizon. That is, we are now focusing on mutual and holistic advancement. That is, our spheres of integration and cooperation will also be expanded. Now, this vision has been announced in 2025, and here this concept is reflecting India's evolving maritime vision beyond just Indian Ocean towards a wider geography. That is, we are going to now focus on the regions present beyond just the Indian Ocean, be it the regions of Southeast Asia or Indo-Pacific region as a whole when we talk about. Now, this represents our natural progression from Sagar, and this is aligning with India's maritime policy with broader Indo-Pacific cooperation and an upgraded broader vision for the global south. That is, when in today's times India positions itself as a leading voice of global south, then one of this vision of India is fulfilling that mandate or that vision of India through such initiatives of India, that is expanding or broadening its vision towards wider areas and going beyond just the Indian Ocean region. Now, if we talk about the major features of Mahasagar, then we can talk about broader geographic scope that we just talked about, that is extending our vision beyond Indian Ocean towards wider Indo-Pacific region. Then integrated maritime development, that is we are going to focus on different domains for integration or for better cooperation. That is focusing on maritime security, then blue economy, sustainable ocean resources, maritime connectivity, digital and energy corridors. Then we talk about multi-regional partnerships, that is encouraging cooperation with one of the regional grouping lying in Southeast Asia, or we can talk about quadrilateral security dialogue of which India, USA, Japan, they are part. And along with these such frameworks, that is for example quadrilateral framework, India is trying to fulfill its visions that are meant for this region. Now, apart from this quad grouping of which India itself is a part along with the countries of USA, Japan and Australia, here India is also focusing on rest of the littoral states that are there in the Indian Ocean as well. Now, ultimately we talk about strategic connectivity, that is which supports maritime trade corridors and regional economic integration. That is one of the reasons why this region is important that we discussed earlier, and why this entire region, be it Indian Ocean or Indo-Pacific, the stability becomes important with respect to trade and with respect to economic integration between different countries of the world with respect to these regions. So here, after having a look at the key features of Mahasagar, let's understand the role of regional platforms in fulfilling such visions of India. Number one, India here can promote maritime cooperation through Indian Ocean Rim Association, that is one of the association meant for the Indian Ocean region. Then Indian Ocean Naval Symposium or Indo-Pacific Oceans Initiative and Quad Cooperation. That is such regional platforms that are present in this region, India can leverage them and India can promote its visions through such platforms to promote further maritime cooperation. And these platforms are strengthening collective maritime governance. That is focusing on maritime domain with collective and collaborative efforts. Now, when we are talking about these two visions of India, and when we are talking about evolution from Sagar vision to Mahasagar vision in today's times, so here we can see that India is strengthening its maritime influence through port connectivity, through maritime trade corridors, logistic networks and coastal infrastructure. And these initiatives are enhancing economic integration and strategic presence of India in these regions. Now, when we are talking about these things, that is, when India is taking up such initiatives, India is fulfilling its visions, that is to fulfill such visions of India. What India needs is, apart from such visions at a wider scale, India also needs such operational tools which are present domestically. And one such domestic operational tool for India is in the form of one of the initiatives of India, that is Sagarmala project of India. Now this Sagarmala project that was introduced in 2015 itself, that is, it is a flagship initiative of India which is exclusively focusing on modernizing the maritime sector. That is, it has the objectives to enable port modernization, coastal economic zones development and port-linked industrialization, and finally coastal connectivity and logistics. That is, through such objectives, what India is trying to do is, India is trying to leverage the huge potential of vast coastline of India. Now, when we are having visions like Sagar vision, and today's times we are focusing on Mahasagar vision. So, to fulfill our such visions at a wider scale or in the outside world, what we need to have is, that is, at the domestic level, our infrastructure should be good enough to support our such visions, and for that Sagarmala project in itself acts as an operational tool for India. Now, when we are talking about India's maritime vision and domestic initiative, that is Sagarmala project, what we can conclude from here is that Sagarmala is operationalizing India's maritime strategy by strengthening port infrastructure of India and reducing logistic cost, enhancing coastal trade, promoting blue economy and supporting India's role in global maritime networks. Here, domestic maritime capacity that is being enhanced through this initiative, that is Sagarmala project. It is strengthening India's external maritime strategy. That is the visions that is India is holding in today's times with respect to the outside world in the maritime domain. So ultimately, about these visions, what we can conclude is, India's maritime visions has evolved from Sagar to Mahasagar vision, which is reflecting a transition from regional maritime cooperation towards a broader strategic engagement across the Indo-Pacific. That thing we understood in our entire discussion. And apart from that, the connectivity initiatives like Sagarmala, they are providing the infrastructure foundation to implement these visions, be it the Sagar vision or be it the Mahasagar vision. And finally, we can say that India is gradually positioning itself, or even we can say in today's times, India is adequately positioning itself as a leading maritime power in the Indian Ocean and beyond. That's all for today's topic. Thank you.